This is Business Today for April 19, 2016. I'm Marlon Madden.
Sugar Bay is like a racehorse out of the gate. It's doing really well. The trend is fantastic. We obviously want to level it out and make sure that it stays on a solid trend.
It's about 5 months since Sugar Bay, Barbados, the former Amaryllis Beach Resort, opened its doors and business has been booming. With record tourist arrivals to the island, operators of the 138-suite South Coast property report a bumper winter season. General Manager Morgan Seal tells Business Today business has slowed down a bit, but he's not complaining. Sugar Bay, Barbados boasts 4 restaurants, a pub and several bars, 2 pools and a spa, and employs approximately 200 people. Seal says the hotel has also opened up some of its restaurants to locals in an effort to stay relevant.
Normally, we wouldn't start seeing repeats until obviously year 1, but funnily enough, we've actually had several people that they came in November and they've been back since. We had a really bumper winter season. It was really impressive actually. Even in all of our calculations, we didn't expect to do that well, and we did phenomenally. This season is now starting to quieten down a little bit, but we're still doing very well. And we're adapting to the environment by opening Sizzle, our steakhouse, to the public.
Seal say he is pleased that the recently renovated all-inclusive property is attracting a lot of first-timers to the island, especially from Europe. And many of them, he says, are keen on enjoying all the activities the island has to offer.
We thought that we would actually get quite a lot of Canadian and Americans coming to an all-inclusive, and what we've actually found is that we're getting a lot of Brits and Europeans. And I mean the vast majority of them, which is interesting because normally the Europeans actually prefer to be on a room-only plan. But what's kind of worked in our favor is that we're getting a lot of first-timers to Barbados, so first-time Brits and Europeans that have never been to Barbados before, so they come to Barbados in an all-inclusive setting that they feel comfortable in, that they can then go out and explore. And we're very happy with that type of crowd that we're getting in. They're here and they're loving Barbados. They're doing a lot of activities, which again was unexpected because I thought they'd stay on the property. They're doing everything that they can, seeing all the catamarans, the island safaris, the rum tours, and they're really enjoying Barbados.
It could easily cost government close to $1 billion to effectively improve the island's water infrastructure. But the billion-dollar question for Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair is, who will foot that bill? He says over the last 2 years, government provided in excess of $400 million for various upgrades to the water infrastructure, and that could almost double by the end of this year, given the number of projects that are necessary for further improvement.
We are talking about close to $1 billion Barbados dollars in capital investment in upgrading and sustaining the water system in Barbados, so that Barbadians can continue to drink clean water, have access to clean water when they turn on their taps, and boast to the rest of the world that we have the best water quality that you can find for any small country in the world. Now, that's $1 billion of investment. And we ask this point today, ladies and gentlemen, who is going to finance that enterprise? Who is going to finance it? It can only be financed by you and me. And it can only be financed by us in this society in a way that does not place such an undue burden on our citizens that they're not able to do other things in the society.
Sinclair was making a case for government's planned restructuring of state-owned entities, stressing that there was no one-size-fits-all remedy and each case should be evaluated on its own merit. He, however, promised that government would carefully examine what statutory organizations are deserving of a merger, a sale, or other forms of modification. Sinclair was addressing the 3rd annual lecture series of the Financial Services Commission, FSC, at the Grand Salle recently. The Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Foreign Economic Relations Board of Turkey that will allow the 2 partners to trade and invest in each other's market. This will be facilitated through a range of initiatives to promote understanding, contacts, and partnerships between private sector companies in both countries. The MOU was signed following a series of consultations between government officials, the president of the BCCI, Eddie Abed, and Honorary Consul of Barbados in Istanbul, Tolga Iken. Now for today's financial tip. Use credit sparingly. It is easy to spend now with plastic and much harder to pay later. If you keep a running balance, you will also be paying interest. Sometimes it can be wise to save money to meet financial goals instead of falling into this trap. That's been the business today. Join us again on Thursday. Until then, you can get more business and news by logging on to www.barbadostoday.be, subscribing to our e-paper and liking us on Facebook. I'm Marlon Mab.